In a foggy twilight, where the horizon blended with the shadows of the impending night, the slender figure of an airplane broke the silence before the storm. Jason, a young pilot whose expression reflected the passion passed down through generations for flying, felt his heart accelerate with the anticipation of the challenge that lay ahead. The aircraft, named after a guiding star, seemed to vibrate with its own energy, eager to explore the open skies. As the aircraft ascended, defying gravity with grace, a sudden snap reverberated through the cockpit, like an omen of the chaos about to unfold. Jason turned sharply, his eyes scanning the exterior for the source of that disturbance. Beside him, Sarah, a co-pilot with a keen gaze and experience marked on every line of her face, shared the tension that now permeated the air. What was that? Jason's voice barely disguised the turmoil that had taken hold of him. Sarah, maintaining the calm required by the situation, attempted to decipher the mystery. It could have been a bird or something else. Stay alert. As they communicated, a surreal spectacle began to unfold outside. A swarm of birds, like never seen before, attacked the aircraft with fierce determination, each impact a test for the integrity of the machine and the human soul. Mayday! Mayday! Jason's voice, loaded with a mix of urgency and disbelief, tried to establish contact with the control tower. The radio, however, only returned a sepulchral silence, punctuated by the cacophony of the birds that, tirelessly, continued their assault. Sarah, realizing the gravity of the situation, gripped the control yoke with determination. Jason, we need to maintain control. These birds, they're not acting normally. In the back of the plane, a murmur of unease rose among the passengers, who, noticing the tumult, sought answers in the faces of the cabin crew. Liam, the chief flight attendant, with his voice that had so often calmed fears, struggled to maintain order. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm. We are doing everything in our power to ensure everyone's safety. But the words of comfort could barely rise above the deafening noise of the birds colliding against the fuselage, each hit a reminder of the imminent danger. As the plane struggled in the air, Jason and Sarah exchanged a look loaded with meaning. They knew they were about to face the ultimate test of their abilities and the trust they placed in each other. The fate of everyone on board rested in their hands. "We're going to need a miracle," Jason murmured, his voice almost swallowed by the sound of the clash with the swarm. Sarah, with a defiant glint in her eyes, responded, "Then let's create our own miracle." At that moment, an undeniable truth was revealed. The battle against untamed nature was just beginning, and the outcome of this stormy night lay in the hands of two brave hearts united against chaos. As the fight against the swarm of birds intensified, Jason's past came to the fore, bringing with it memories of his father, also a pilot, whose legacy was a passion for the skies. Amidst the turbulence, these memories became a beacon, guiding him through the storm, not only physical but also emotional, that he faced. "My father always said that flying was dancing with the winds," Jason shared with Sarah, his voice choked with emotion. "But he never mentioned a dance as chaotic as this." Sarah, in turn, revealed herself not just as a skilled co-pilot, but also a source of strength and wisdom. In a moment of increasing tension, she placed her hand over Jason's, offering him not just physical support, but also emotional. "Our job is to face chaos and find order within it," she said, her eyes meeting Jason's with an intensity that conveyed confidence and understanding. "Together, we are stronger than any storm." In the eyes of the passengers, a mosaic of emotions was reflected. Among them was an elderly couple, holding hands tightly, finding solace in each other. A mother tried to soothe her small child, singing softly to him, while a young man, with a distant look, seemed to lose himself in his own thoughts. Liam, the chief flight attendant, emerged as a natural leader amid the chaos. His calm demeanor and quick decisions served as an anchor for his team and for the passengers, many of whom sought in his eyes some sign of hope. "We'll get through this," he assured a visibly nervous passenger, his words carrying a promise he himself struggled to believe. As the fight for survival unfolded, Jason and Sarah were forced to dive into their own souls, confronting fears and hopes that had lain dormant until then. A conversation loaded with vulnerability brought them even closer, transforming them not just into team companions, but into companions of fate. I was afraid I wasn't up to the task," Jason confessed in a moment of silence between the bird attacks. "Afraid of failing the team, the passengers, you." Sarah looked at him with an intensity that seemed to penetrate his soul. "You are up to the task, Jason. You're already making a difference. And no matter what happens, we're in this together." This exchange marked a turning point not only in their professional relationship, but also personal, establishing a bond forged in the fire of adversity, a bond that would guide them through the darkness of the night, toward the unknown awaiting them. The relentless fight against the swarm of birds turned out to be not just a physical battle, but also a puzzle that needed to be solved. Jason and Sarah realized that as much as they tried, they couldn't simply scare away the birds. There was something more, a hidden mystery that linked them to that aircraft in an inexplicable way. The tension in the cockpit was palpable when an unexpected alert sounded, bringing a new dimension to the chaos. One of the navigation systems had picked up a strange signal originating from the aircraft's own cargo compartment. It was a sound almost imperceptible that seemed to be on a frequency that only the birds could hear. "This doesn't make sense," Sarah murmured, frowning as she analyzed the instruments. "Why would the birds be reacting to something inside our plane?" Jason, feeling a chill run down his spine, had a flash of insight. What if it's not the plane they want, but something we're carrying? This revelation led them to a bold decision: to investigate the cargo compartment while still in the air. No easy task, considering the circumstances. But it was a gamble they needed to take. Meanwhile, the atmosphere among the passengers swung between tension and fear. Whispered conversations and worried glances were exchanged, as everyone wondered what was happening. The elderly couple clung tighter, the mother hugged her child, and the solitary young man stared into nothingness, lost in thought. Liam, sensing the growing anxiety, decided to act. Gathering his team, he organized a quick meeting. "We need to keep everyone calm and informed. I'll talk to the cockpit and see what we can do. In the meantime, maintain order and reassure the passengers." The moment Jason and Sarah prepared to descend to the cargo compartment, a new development took shape. One of the passengers, a man with an enigmatic countenance who until then had remained isolated and silent, abruptly stood up. "I need to show you something," he said, his voice laden with an urgency that brooked no opposition. Guided by the mysterious passenger, they headed to the cargo compartment. What they found there left them stunned. Among the luggage and boxes, a cage covered by a dark cloth. Removing the cloth, they revealed the cause of the overwhelming agitation: a rare species of bird, whose songs, transmitted by a hidden electronic device, were the source of the frenzy outside. I was trying to save them," the passenger confessed, his voice choked with emotion. "From smugglers. But I never imagined..." The discovery that they were inadvertently transporting a call for help changed everything. Jason and Sarah, now armed with the knowledge of what was really happening, knew the challenge they faced went far beyond simply piloting the aircraft. The life of that extraordinary creature was at stake, and somehow they needed to find a way to calm the swarm and lead everyone safely through the storm. With the truth finally revealed, it was up to them to devise a bold plan that would not only save the plane and its occupants, but also ensure the protection of that rare species. It was a race against time, with the fate of many hanging in the balance. The plot construction, intertwined with twists and discoveries, set the stage for an emotional climax, where courage, intelligence, and heart would determine the outcome of this nocturnal journey. With the secret behind the bird's attack finally unveiled, Jason and Sarah now faced the challenge of not only saving the aircraft and its occupants, but also protecting the precious live cargo they had discovered. The tension in the cockpit was palpable. The fate of everyone on board, and of the rare bird hidden among them, hung by a thread. "Let's use the aircraft's communication system," Jason suggested, his voice firm despite the uncertainty he felt inside. "If we play the bird song in reverse, maybe we can confuse the swarm outside, giving us a chance to escape." Sarah nodded, aware of the risks. "It's risky, but it might be our only way out. I'll handle the programming." Her hands danced over the controls with a precision that only years of experience could provide. In the passenger compartment, Liam transmitted the latest updates, his voice a balm for the agitated hearts. "We're implementing a plan that we hope will bring us all home safely. Please, stay calm and trust us." The aircraft was now in a state of anguished suspension, floating on the border between hope and despair. Then, with a signal from Sarah, the modified sound of the bird's song flooded the air, transmitted by all the aircraft's external speakers. The effect was almost immediate. The swarm, previously a whirlwind of wings and beaks against the fuselage, began to disperse, confused by the sound that seemed to come from all sides and none. Jason and Sarah shared a look of relief mixed with incredulity. The plan was working, but victory was only partial. With the navigation system damaged by previous attacks, landing would be tremendously difficult. "We need to make an emergency landing," Jason declared, determined. "Sarah, you have the controls. I'll prepare the passengers." The plane, now freed from the swarm, began its tense descent, each movement a test for Sarah's nerves of steel. Jason, returning to the cockpit after ensuring everyone was prepared, found Sarah focused, the embodiment of courage under pressure. "Here we go," she murmured, initiating the final landing maneuver. The aircraft touched the ground with an impact that sent shockwaves through the hearts of everyone on board. But Sarah, with extraordinary skill, managed to keep it on the runway, bringing it to a safe stop amid relieved applause from passengers and crew. In the days that followed, the story of the flight that faced and defeated a swarm of birds with nothing but ingenuity and courage quickly spread, transforming Jason, Sarah, and their team into unlikely heroes. The passenger responsible for transporting the rare bird was absolved of any crime after an investigation revealed his intentions to protect the species from smugglers. As for the bird, it was delivered to a specialized sanctuary where it could live safely and thrive, a living reminder of the fragility and interconnectedness of all life forms. And as the aircraft was repaired and prepared to fly once more, Jason and Sarah found themselves at the terminal, looking up at the sky they had conquered together. "What's next?" Sarah asked, a smile beginning to form on her lips. Jason, looking toward the horizon, answered with a calm certainty, "Wherever the sky takes us, together." The plane that faced the impossible and the uncommon courage of its crew and passengers would remain as a testimony to the power of hope, unity, and the indomitable human spirit, capable of finding light even in the darkest hours.